Show and the Artilla podcast with our host, Dr. Mohhamed. Dr. Mohhamed, we're going to go with the latest news in AI today. And the reason why, because we're in the holidays, good time to go to the specific things. And we're going to go to the one I like because there's multiple ones. The first one comes out, I'm not as interested in. Meta is building an AI-powered morning brief to push to compete with ChatGPT. I've been seeing Meta's improve their video and everything, so let me read what came from the Washington Post. Meta is building an AI. I'm going to start reading for free. No, come on now. They always take me to not let me read this. Start reading these newspapers. They'll figure it out, and I'm going to keep going. So Meta is building an AI-powered brief to push to compete with ChatGPT. Meta's testing a new product that would give Facebook users a personalized AI-powered briefing of information relevant to their daily lives. Meta is testing a new product that would give Facebook users a personalized daily briefing powered by the company's generative artificial intelligence technology. The effort, dubbed Project Luna internally, would analyze Facebook content and external sources to push custom updates to its users. The system is designed to compete with ChatGPT's Pulse. Here's why it's not going to compete with ChatGPT's Pulse. You tell me why first, Dr. Mohhamed, and I'll tell why, in my experience, why it won't work.
I think it could work better with Gemini because if they have access to your Facebook, Instagram, it's the same company, right?
Google yeah, but search. See, but the difference is you're not doing business there. My ChatGPT Pulse, I'll read what it says. Hold on, let me go to my ChatGPT Pulse and then we'll go back to the article. If I go to my Pulse right now, hey, Neil and Vanessa, I'm here to surface and helpful once day by day. You decide what shows up next. Okay. So you've been deep in Sora lately. So let's start how to make your trailers sharper and more cinematic. Craft cinematic prompts that flow. Unify Mina Valentine's visual world. Sounds that shape emotion. Then it goes into drive shares inside Spotify. Spotify's new import and crash fixed. Automate PM summaries and tasks. So what they're doing is they're looking at our daily AI use. And this is why I don't think this is not going to work. And our daily, we use AI 90% of the time for business. We use about 10% of the time personal. This is the mistake a lot of AI companies, these large language models are making a mistake on. They think people are going to use it for their daily life. No, they're going to get something that's created for them, like a robot that has AI intelligence, like something else that they're going to help in their daily lives, like the bee to take to listen to all my conversations and take them and break them down and tell me what's going on, even though most of my life is business. And there's a little personal, but 90-10. How could they think they're competing with Gemini Pulse if people don't interact on Meta AI enough to get that information?
No, you're right. I think it's the B2B, B2C discussion. So Gemini and Google, maybe they're targeting the consumers to give like curated news and advice for your
Meta. We're talking about Meta. We're talking about Meta.
Oh, sorry, Meta, not Google. Meta with Facebook, Instagram, and Gemini. Probably they know that their user base are using it much more for personal use or whatever. But then OpenAI, they know that you use it for business, for creating value. So I think different AI models, they are aware of their crowd and what they do with their AI models, and they will fine tune that advisor. But sorry, I was confused with Google because it reminded me of something that the Google CEO, one of the Google CEOs last year or a year and a half ago, they asked him, what's the objective of Google? And then he said, our objective at Google is to tell you what you want to do today.
And I honestly think Google's winning this war. And I'm going to get your take on this because I think that just proves that Meta's going to fall flat on their face there. Meta has improved their technology tremendously. I'm going to play around with a lot of it because it's all free. So if I run out of limits, I go to Meta. So I'm no knock on Meta as I work with all my large language models, depending on my workflow. But ultimately, people are not spending enough time on Meta. So what you're saying, Google is going to win for one reason. People still Google everything.
And Gmail
and everything. They're going to win. The reason they're going to win is their AI overviews are going to take over. Yes, when you're in business day, you're going to go work with ChatGPT. But your day after work day's over, you're not going to go to ChatGPT. You're going to go to Google.
Yeah, and then you go to Google Sheets, Google Docs, Gmail. When you're in that satellite of websites that they gather a lot of data. They know what kind of thing you create.
And I can't wait till there's an agent built in there. You just type into that agent, okay, sort all my videos and show me what are duplicates. And then I can verify if it's duplicated or not. If it's not a duplicate, it's not a duplicate. Please relabel it. That's coming.
Exactly, yeah. And that's Google Drive. That's already Google Drive. It's doing that either locally with your computer and on the Google Drive on the cloud. Okay. So yeah, Google will probably have more data about what people do with the different apps. But I think OpenAI, because of the massive user inputs that they have, they will know what people are creating with their models. Just like for you, using it especially for business.
All right, let's go to the next one. So the next one is new study finds AI model improves heart attack detection. Not interested in that one. UK government will buy tech to boost AI sector. AI boom brings fresh risks to U.S. markets and more money to M&A. I don't like that. I want more news. I'm going to type in more news. Okay. At least you get some better news because I don't think that as is interesting. This is last minute. Don't mind us as we're typing into ChatGPT. But Google is going to win. All right. So new era of intelligence with Gemini 3. Okay. Let's learn about what Gemini 3 brings to the table. So now we're Gemini 3. A note from Google and Alphabet CEO Sundar Pichai. Nearly 2 years ago, we kicked off the Gemini era, one of our biggest scientific and product endeavors even undertaken as a company. Since then, it's incredible to see how much people love it. AI overviews now have 2 billion users every month. The Gemini app has surpassed 650 million users per month. More than 70% of our cloud customers use our AI. 70% of cloud customers use our AI. 13 million developers have built with our generative models, and we're able to get advanced capabilities to the world's faster than ever, thanks to our differentiated full stack approach to AI innovation. From our leading infrastructure to our world-class research and models of tooling to products. Every generation of Gemini has built on the last, enabling you to do more. Gemini 1's breakthroughs and natively in, okay, so it just keeps going. Introducing Gemini 3, our most intelligent model. Today we're taking big step on the path towards AGI and releasing Gemini 3. And define AGI for us, sir. What's AGI?
AGI is augmented general intelligence. Is the Terminator AI, the one that thinks for itself and is independent.
It's the best model in the world for multimodal understanding and our powerful agentic and vibe coding model yet, delivering richer visualizations and deeper interactivity, all built on a foundation of state-of-the-art reasoning. We're beginning the Gemini 3 era by releasing Gemini 3 Pro in preview and making it available today across the suite of Google products so that you can use it in your daily life to learn, plan anything, and anything. All right, there's a little video, state-of-the-art reasoning with unprecedented depth and nuance. Gemini 3 Pro can bring any idea to life with state-of-the-art reasoning and multi-modal. So what are your thoughts? It gave an exam, try to compare themselves to Claude, and they're higher than Claude and ChatGPT. So humanity's last exam. Gemini scored better than ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini Pro 2.5. Arc AGI 2. Gemini, 31% better than ChatGPT 5.1. All these numbers, they're crushing it. Hold on here. What's that mean?
Yeah, I'm always confused with these tests because every time one of them releases a new model, they say that they beat everyone else.
Really?
So they all make the curves and then they calculate with the same framework. I don't really believe in it that much, but what I noticed with the latest Gemini models that I think is making a big difference is that they have a larger context compared to the others. And for example, Gemini 2.5 or Gemini 3, they have 1 million token as a memory. So that means that they can hold 1 million words in memory about what you're chatting with them in that session. And that's very large compared to the others. The others, they are about 120,000, 256,000. And these guys are already giving us a million token of context. That's, I think, what is for us with my team, what has been the most advantageous part of Gemini.
All right, bubble fears ease, but investors still waiting for AI to live up to its promise. So basically, the bubble is coming. Let's hear what they have to say.
Everybody is talking about this, yes.
Fears about the artificial intelligence boom turning into a blown bubble have diminished from now, thanks to stellar earnings report by NVIDIA, and illustrated why it's, but this doesn't mean that the specter of AI bubble won't return in the months or years ahead as big tech gears up to spend trillions of dollars more on technology. For now, at least, NVIDIA has eased worries that AI craze propelling the stock market and much economy for the past year is the verge of massive collapse. Even if NVIDIA quarterly report indicated that AI spending is picking up even more momentum.
But NVIDIA is kind of on another game because they're providing the hardware and the other guys are using their hardware. So of course, it's like the gold rush. They sell the tents and everybody is looking for gold. So only NVIDIA is making money. The others are still digging.
So what is your thought in this whole thing? Everyone else is digging. Well, they're making money. Do you see AI finally kind of, we're getting so many advances, yet people aren't able to use it very well in the workplace?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think there is still something that is very natural in humans is the slow adoption and the learning curve and then the changing of habits. Even if you know that AI is good and so on, maybe a company will only change their habits and adopt AI so gradually, like 10% this year, 10% next year. So it will take them 10 years to fully adopt AI, not like you pick it up like in less than a year. So I think that is also part of the AI. I remember when I was doing my PhD, we were working on smartphones. Smartphones just came. It was the AI of the time. Okay. And they say smartphones with dumb users will not make a big difference, basically. And smart users with dumb phones, they still make their stuff work. So it reminds me also of AI.
It definitely does in so many ways. Like you said, we're in a process. It's not going to happen overnight. But the problem is the bugs that are happening. And it's also the employees not willing to adopt AI. And that's probably the biggest challenge that they're having is they don't want to adopt AI because they have to be more productive. They have to work harder. And if you're an employee, you don't work as hard as if you own the company.
Yes.
Or you have a piece of the company. True?
Because it's financial incentive or ownership incentive is definitely a big kick in productivity.
Yeah. So that gives it. So what do you do to incentivize employees if you're going to have to work harder? Because you have to work harder with AI. This is the biggest truth. And I want to get your take. Do you have to work harder as an employee now because of AI?
I think what the incentive should be, or what I see, is work smarter. Like, let's say you have a deliverable and you can match the deliverable in time and quality, and you use AI better than the other employee, and it takes you half day, and the company gave you 2 days. So that should be like allowed if somebody is better at using tools and can be productive. And if the company is judging your productivity by the output, so those guys who use AI, they will deliver faster, or they will artificially slow their delivery so that they can take it easy and deliver the same thing as somebody working hard without AI for 2 days. And that's where I think.
So you feel that, but I think it's going to be treated differently than that.
Yeah, very possible. I'm just thinking what I see is that if you do not have an internal or an ownership skin in the game where it's also a piece of your company, like it was the case at the beginning of Apple. People were 80% of Apple was owned by employees, so it was like it's our baby. If you don't have that, then there is another way of squeezing more production from your teammate, and we have to be creative at that level.
Yeah, we got to be creative, and how creative we're going to have to be to make it happen.
You have to know AI. You have, as a business owner, you have to know what AI can do, what AI cannot do, and humans are supposed to gap the what is missing. And then you have to know if somebody is bullshitting you, if they just pasted something and copied it and then brought it to you as an output. So the human effort will still have to be somehow measured and figured out of all the noise that will be created by AI.
All right. So, I mean, what I'm saying is I think it makes it much more of a difficult thing.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Because you're looking at, you look at things. Go ahead.
No. Have you heard of companies or schools or institutions banning the use of AI?
I think that they're trying to make it not usable. I think that education is going to be the biggest, hardest people to get on board with AI, because really way we learn now has to be totally different. And we've not made those changes in schools or universities or anything, because memorization is completely, you need to teach people, instead of learning to memorize things, you got to be able to be a go-getter, prompt engineer, what you need to do and your output, do a research paper writing using AI, but being able to find the right research, put it all together, make sure the arguments are right, make sure it's written well, put the human being involved in it, and then say, this is my product. That's the best way you're going to do it, because companies are going to be like, I could give care less. You just got to produce for me.
Exactly, yeah. But the education system has not made that switch yet.
Not at all. And how do you think we can?
I think it will take a new generation of teachers and policymakers to activate that, because somebody who has spent 40 years in the classic academic way of memorizing everything and not using the calculator. So those are the same guys that at the beginning, they wanted to calculate everything in their head and not use the calculator. And now they say the same thing with AI. So, but now it's a whole different level, because you can't compete at the mental level with an AI model. An AI model can already has the 10,000 books read in its mind. How can you compete with that? You haven't read a single book about that subject.
You can't. You can't compete.
Yeah, you can't. There's too much difference. It's not like you compete, you do 2 + 2 and the calculator does 2 + 2. You may reply as fast as the calculator for simple operations.
It's ridiculously crazy what's happening.
Yeah,
I mean,
the gap is huge. Yeah.
It's gigantic. And how do we go to the next level? Who knows? I mean, there's so much more that people have to understand with AI, and a lot of tools that everyone tries, developers try to make tools easy. The problem is, easy is not what businesses are looking for. They're looking for results.
Yes. And like you said many times, it's about competitiveness. You have to stay ahead. Otherwise, now a small guy, 15 years old in his room, who picks up AI may compete with 10 guys who are 40 years old with all the resources that they have, if they don't understand AI. A teenager will drive them out of business.
All right. So what's new with Artil before I let you go?
Yes, so we are improving our AI chat, AI assistant, so that now we're starting to call how to use Artila as a vibe web scrapping or vibe AI automation. So you chat with the AI and the AI builds your automation. So we're improving it so that it can work better with social media and complicated websites. We're getting there. We just got a release today, a new release that I'm going to test, and I will be updating you next week. I think we can have a nice demo.
All right. RTILA.com. Appreciate it, Dr. Mohhamed.